Hello, good evening. It's almost night, but I want to say welcome to Lisa Talk. This is not going to be long, but I had said I was going to get on live, and I'll be about to go to bed in a minute. But anyway, I want to get on just briefly. I want to talk with you in reference to abuse. ABUSE, abuse. Abuse is a word that people don't like to talk about, and if they are being abused, they pretty much keep it to themselves, which is really not good at all. You need to let somebody know what's going on with you. But a lot of times people feel shamed about it. And you got all kinds of abuse out here. I was just looking at my Bible dictionary. But you have physical abuse, that's the hitting and all this, the fighting. You also have the verbal abuse, and that's when someone is talking down on you or cursing you out or calling you out your names. You have the emotional abuse, which is a mind thing, where they messing with your mind. Hello, Glenda, how you doing tonight? God bless you, baby. They're messing with your mind. That's emotional, and there's a lot of things that can affect our minds. You have a lot of abuse that's going on. And so we're going to say this is Lisa Talk tonight. That's what it is. It's Lisa Talk. It's been a busy day for me, and I'm just really getting back home. And so everything I said, we're going to make sure that it get done. You just going to have to bear with me for a minute because there's a lot that be going on, a lot going on. But here it is right here. I want to read to you about abuse. We're talking about abuse tonight. We're talking about abuse. And a lot of people stay in abuse. They stay in it. And they stay in it because they're ashamed. They stay in it because of somebody that's very close to them, that's doing like a spouse, family member, friend, someone that's, close to them, and they're ashamed about it. But never be shamed about it. Never be ashamed to report it. And never be ashamed to get out of it. Okay? Don't stay in an abusive relationship. Do not stay in an abusive marriage, unless that person get help, and they turn from that. But because it also messes with your self-esteem, your confidence. It can easily you can easily even have can die a quick death, and you're not trying to get off this earth, for stuff like that, okay? But this is what it says about abuse. And abuse is not love. So never think that abuse is love, because it's not. If someone abusing you, they're not in love with you. It is not love at all, okay? And that person that's being the abuser don't even love themselves, because they don't even respect themselves, because if they did, they wouldn't even do it. And they cannot respect you as well. But an abuser is mistreating or inflicting physical or sexual harm on a person. So it's also sexual abuse, where someone is sexual abusing you, taking something that don't belong to them, but trying to make you do something that's against your will. Okay? It's an insult. That's what it is. It's an insult. It's mistreatment, and so I want y'all to understand that it's mistreatment. And I'm gonna say this. That was out of this dictionary, and I have a Webster New World Dictionary as well. But I want to say this tonight. I want to let you know that you're not on this earth. God did not put you on this earth for you to be mistreated in any form or fashion, okay? He didn't put you on this earth for you to be mistreated physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, verbally. He didn't put you on this earth for that. That's not your purpose. That's not God's plan for your life. He didn't put you on this earth to be mistreated in no kind of way. He did not put you on this earth for you to be disrespected in no kind of way. Talked down on, looked down on, stomped on. You got people that abuse people, and they physically hit them. They fight them. They physically take their fists and start hitting you, whether they're hitting your head or kicking you, doing all kinds of stuff to you. And a lot of times we have seen this stuff growing up as a child ourselves. We have seen somebody that got hit and beat on, and most of the time, 99% of the time, it is for no reason. It is for no reason. But because of the abuser think that they got the upper hand, and they think that, it's either their way or no way, or I'm going to fix you up, hit you or whatever. See, and so you don't live with no one or stay in with no one and allow them to abuse you like that. And a lot of times an abuser has been abused themselves, and they just saw it. They have took notes, and they have seen this type of stuff somewhere. They don't have no respect for humankind. I'm not saying mankind or womankind, it's both, but I'm saying humankind, because not only do you have men abusing women, but you also have women abusing men. Okay, so it goes both ways. You got children abusing other children, and then you got parents that's abusing children. You got children that's abusing parents. You got people that abuse the elderly. You see, people that's sick, that they can't do nothing for themselves, and someone comes and take advantage of the situation and they abuse them. And so you got a lot of abuse out here. You got people that go out and they drink, and they get drunk, or they start dealing with alcohol, and they can't control their alcohol. And that alcohol demonic demons come out of them. And they want to come home after they done been out all night long or all day long, whatever, drinking. And they want to come home and they want to start abusing you because they got all the alcohol in them. And that alcohol is really making them, force them to do things that they would normally do, what they would not normally say. But since they got the alcohol in them, they're going to go on and say it. All right? So you got physical abuse. And that's no good for no one to be physically abused. Then you've got, hello, Dana, how you doing? Then you've got verbal abuse. And you got the verbal abuse is when people are cursing you out, or they're talking down on you in some kind of way. They're making you feel worthless, useless. All this verbal. You don't have to be with nobody. Instead, in relationships with people that is doing this to you. Whether it's your spouse, whomsoever, it could be family members. But all I'm saying is that it could be friends. I'm saying mistreatment. You don't allow no one to mistreat you. You're not here on this planet. You're not here on this earth. God did not create you to be mistreated in no kind of capacity. No kind of way. And so when you see somebody that's physically abusing you, verbally abusing you, or emotional is dealing with the mind. Dealing with your head, making you feel some type of way. They people can talk to you, and they can talk to you in a certain way that can be abused. Or like I said, they can talk down to you. They can try to make you feel less of yourself. And then manipulation is an abuse. Yeah, it is. When people are manipulating you, that's an abuse too. When people are deceiving you, that's an abuse. When people are lying to you, disrespecting you, that's also abuse. It's a lot of different ways that people can abuse people. When people disrespect you, that can be abusing, sexually abusing you, forcing you to do something that's against your will. That's an abuse. If you don't want to do it, you just don't want to do it, point blank. You can't make me. You see? So there's a lot of different ways that people are being abused. And not only is grown people being abused, not only is men's being abused or ladies being abused, but children are being abused also. And if they're not being abused, they're seeing the abuse. They're staying in a house where they're being abused. You see? Yeah, she said, that's why I don't drink. I don't blame you. I don't either. I've seen too much of that. But even with people, if you can't control your alcohol, you don't need to drink. You don't need to drink. Because if you can't control, or if you don't know how to stay in control, then you don't need to do it. You don't need to do none of it. But all I'm saying is that we've got to be careful. That's why we have to watch out for our loved ones, our little ones, the children. We have to watch out for our children. But a lot of times everything nowadays is so covered up. Like they're covering up with mud or covering up with quicksand. Everybody want to cover up stuff. Don't nobody want to talk about nothing no more. You know, they want to keep everything a secret, but you know, abuse should never be in a secret, because don't feel like you less of a person because someone has came along, because they had no kind of control. They had no self-control of themselves or their emotions or their behavior. And they have came along and tried to make you the target. Don't stay with no one that's abusing you, especially if they're not trying to get no help. You know, they need help. If something is wrong, seriously wrong with them, and they need some help. So they need to go somewhere and get themselves counseled, prayed over, and, you know, maybe checked in a facility like Brentwood. But they need some help, y'all. I'm being real. You know, they need some help, and if they don't love themselves enough to get the help or love you enough to get the help, then you might need to bail out. I'm not going to tell no one to stay in abuse, you know, because abuse is not love. It's not love. So don't stay there. You know, my mind went back to Tina Turner and Ike Turner. And Tina stayed with Ike. She met Ike, and Tina saw how Ike mistreated his first wife. But she still stayed with him because, you know, she thought that it was going to be better for her. But then she ended up getting the worst end of the stick, so to speak. She ended up being abused and mistreated. And I mean, he did her terrible. He really did. But she, you know, she felt cornered because she went to her mom, and her mom, always he would pay her mom to give her mom money and tell her what she had, and her mom talked her into going back. You never talk a person to going back to an abusive relationship, abusive environment, or abusive situation. You don't talk them into going back to that. You see? So with Tina, she finally woke up, but it took a while he did a lot of abuse to her, you know, physically, verbally, and sexually. But she finally woke up emotionally. She tried to kill herself, take some overdose of pills. But Tina finally woke up and smelled the coffee. And when she woke up and smelled the coffee, she went on and got those kids, and she was trying to hurry them get on up out of there. See? And she went through a lot. She had to fight to live. She had to fight for her life. And all she wanted to do was love Ike. And Ike should have wanted to love Tina, but he had too many demonic demons that was going on with him. And it was before Tina even came into his life. But that power trying to force her and keep her and make her and control her. When somebody trying to control you, you got to be careful with that as well. You don't need nobody trying to control you. You see? Because that can turn out to be also abuse. When you try to control me, you trying to take away my independence. You know, you trying to talk for me. You trying to walk for me. You know, you trying to control everything. See, watching abuser, watch them. They want that power. They want that control. And they feel worthless without it. But you don't let them make you out to be out of a doormat. See, you don't let them just do any kind of way. And don't sit there and think that you have to take it because you can't do no better. Yes, you can. It's a lot of people right now dead in the ground. Well, the remains is anyway. And because of they was abused, and they could have lived a longer life, but their lifespan was cut out short because somebody was abusing them, and they didn't have enough willpower or the courage to get out of it. And they felt shamed, and they didn't want to talk to anybody about it because they didn't want nobody to know what they was going through. Well, people gonna talk to you if you stay and have black eyes, or they're gonna talk about you if you leave, or whatever the case may be. But you need peace, you need freedom, and you're not here for no one to abuse you. Now, I'm not talking, I'm just talking in general. This is just something that was put on my mind and my heart to talk about, because you really don't hear people talking about this type of talk anymore. But don't stay in a situation where you're being disrespected, because if you love me, you're not going to disrespect me, point blank. If I love you, I'm not going to disrespect you. If you love me, you're not going to mistreat me. If I love you, I'm not going to mistreat you. You see? So if you love me, you're not going to talk down on me. If I love you, I'm not talking down on you. If you love me, you're not going to physically abuse me. And if I love you, I'm not going to physically abuse you. See, that's the power of love. If you love me, you're not going to verbally misuse me, mentally misuse me. If you love me, you're not going to want me to have a nervous breakdown or a setback if you truly love me. And I'm not going to want the same for you. See, so we learn to do unto others as we will have them to do unto us. So that's all I'm saying on Lisa Live Ministry, that if you see abuse, you know somebody's in abuse, pray for them and try to talk to them and let them know you don't need no one beating up on you in your mind, beating your mind, or beating your back, beating you against the wall, And I'm gonna say this: I feel like if somebody's cheating on you, that's an abuse. That's abusing you too. Because if you cheating on me and you said we're together, but you're cheating on me, then you're abusing me. Because you're making that other woman feel like, or that other man, because it can go both ways, making them feel like they're better than I am. No. So what am I saying? Don't be abusing nobody. People are body slamming people. Body slamming folks on the ground, kicking folks on the ground, trying to abuse them. That's wrong. And God is going to punish people for doing people like that, but he also going to punish you for staying. So do not stay in an abusive situation, and I don't care what the situation it is. If someone is abusing you, do not stay in that situation. Put one foot before the other and go and leave them. I don't care. I would never tell no one to stay with an abuser. No one to stay with an abuser unless they want to get some help. Now, if they get help for themselves, that's one thing. But if they don't want to get help for themselves, don't you be their doormat. Don't you, because one minute you might be living, next minute you might be dead. So don't do that. When I grew up as a child, as a little girl coming up, I saw a lot of abuse. Physically abuse, mentally abuse, verbal abuse, all the cursing and fighting and all this kind of stuff. I saw that as a child growing up. And I vowed and said that I never wanted my kids to see stuff like that. Now you've got so many children that are seeing so much abuse. And you wonder why they're going to the schools and they're acting out. They're seeing too much. They're hearing too much. And don't sit up there and let no one sexually abuse you. And if you know someone is like that, don't have your kids around them. Hello, Sharon. Don't have your kids around no one that's sexually abusing you. Because you're scared to leave them. And you go somewhere, you're going to be scared to leave them. You see? So don't do that. So make sure that you keep a good environment for them to stay in. See, there's nothing wrong with being by yourself, good people. My kids, I raised them, and I raised them, and I didn't have no man was gonna abuse my children. I don't like that. I don't like abuse, period. God did not put us on this earth for us to be abused in no kind of way. No kind of way. That's what it takes away from you. It takes away your self-esteem. People get to the point they've been abused so long, they don't even care about their appearance anymore. They stop loving themselves. They stop keeping their hair up. Some people stop even washing their face. They stop brushing their teeth. They stop taking a bath. I'm being real. People can make other people go down if you don't watch them. But check this out. Before you met the abuser, before you met the person that was doing that, you was keeping yourself up. You was doing some things. But when you met that person and you fell in love or whatever the case may be, it sets you back when you realize how that person was treating you. Some people even start going to sleep and just start taking naps and would try to tune the person out and go into a depression stage. This stuff will take you to your death at an early age if you don't watch it. So all I'm saying today on Lisa Talk, because this is not Lisa Live Ministry, this is Lisa Talk, do not allow no one to abuse you. You are not here on this earth. God did not put none of us on this earth to be abused. So don't let nobody be scratching you, fighting you, cursing you out, pulling guns on you. I'm telling you, kicking you, biting you, beating you, taking something from you. You might tell them, I don't want to have sex. And they might get mad at you and say, yeah, you gonna have, no, I'm not. You see what I'm saying? So they try to force you into doing something you don't want to do. You better go boil you some water. Boil you some hot grits. I'm serious. Because people got to stop doing people like this. It is wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. And we got these babies coming up. When my grandbaby come over to my house, I want this house to be a peaceful environment, a safe environment for her to come to. I want her to know that when Ty drop her off, she is safe. She's going to be okay. See, that's why I have to watch my environment. Watch my environment, because I don't want nothing to happen to her or my daughter. And so, or my sons, because now they're also sexually abused little boys. Physical abuse little boys, as well as physical abuse little boys. And that's why you wonder why these little boys is coming out funny, because somebody done did something to them that they had no business doing to them. So you be amazed at what people won't do. And so that's why, because their minds ain't right. So that's why you have to always, seek the Lord and pray. But God done gave us all 5 senses too. And we got to know how to use our common sense. And so you don't throw your kids here and there, because you don't know what people will do to your children or to you. So you just got to be careful. So I got on here saying all our lives, we done saw some abuse. Every family member's done saw some kind of abuse. And we done sat there, we done kept our mouth closed, and we won't say nothing about it. See, and this stuff goes on from generation to generation. Well, it stops. It's got to stop. And it stops today, because people going to have to stop allowing people to mistreat them, misuse them, and abuse them. She said, well, I had a family member to tell me my husband was cheating on me, and I know that's a lie. Well, baby, let me tell you one thing in reference to that. As long as your husband treats you right, he's respecting you, he's loving you, he's treating you right, and you don't see no signs of that type of activity, then you go on with life, and you go on with your husband, you see. And I'm going to say cheating has been something that has been going on from generation to generation. Y'all heard me talk about disco lady. So this stuff has been going on from generation to generation, but there's no excuse for no one to cheat on nobody. Now, I don't justify stuff. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And there's no excuse, because when you got what you need at the house, and when you go outside of your house, and you go out there and start fooling around, it makes more problems. It increases the problems. It don't, and that person on the outside, they gonna think that they're better than the person on the inside. The person on the outside always know the spouses, but the spouses don't know the person on the outside until they get bold enough to let you know who they is. It used to be a time. I'm not talking about your situation, okay? I'm just talking in general. It used to be a time I can remember as a child growing up, because I have very good memories. And I can remember that if a woman was fooling with a man, and it was husband and wife, she knew he had a spouse at home, and she would keep that stuff hush hush. She would never want that woman to know who she was. And if she went and had any kind of infidelity, adultery, and had any kids, she kept them kids hid too. But now everything is so out in the open now. The people on the outside always want the person on the inside to know what they're doing. And men's gonna have to wake up and smell the coffee, and so is women's. Because it goes both ways. Men cheat, women cheat too. So and stop fooling around like that, because you're losing more than what you're going to gain. You're losing more than what you're going to gain. And so it's really worthless. But no one can steal who you are unless you allow them to. No one can take your confidence. No one can take your self-esteem. No one can take nothing from you unless you allow them to. That's why I always say on Lisa Live Minister, what? Renew your mind. Because no one, I don't care how they look, I don't care how they build, I don't care how, it just don't matter. Thank God for how he made you. So no one can take nothing away from you. When John Doe met Sally Sue, John Doe was interested in Sally Sue. Sally Sue was interested in John Doe. Okay? When you are in a marriage, you got to keep it going. You got to keep the romance in it. You got to keep the humor in it. You got to keep it going. But every day is not going to be peaches and cream. See, every day might not be exciting. And a lot of times when people go outside of their marriage, they're just going out there looking for a little fun. That's all. They ain't trying to go out there and really trying to be committed to them people, because they should have enough common sense to know they can't be committed to them like that. but you can have fun at home. See, go back to dating. Go back to dating your spouses. You know, y'all dated before you got married, so go back to dating. You know, go back to enjoying them. Go back to loving them and going on. Just, you know, I'm just talking in general. I'm not talking to no one particular person. I'm just talking in general. Just go back to the romance. A lot of times people took romance out. And that's what happened when you take the romance out. So we just got to go back to enjoying. If you are married, just go back to rekindling your marriage. Because a marriage is something that you got to rekindle all the time. You got to keep on working at it. You got to just keep at it. If you know, when you plan on being together with one another, you know. So it just takes two people to keep it together and to keep it going and keep outside interference out of it. Because people will rather see you apart than to see you together. And it messes up the family, the children, and everything. It really does. It messes it up. But now I'm not telling nobody to stay in a relationship or marriage if they're being abused. I'm not saying that. That person need to get some help. Maybe both people need to get some help. You know? But all I'm saying is that it's just too much abuse going on. Now this is what Lisa Talk was about tonight. It is just too much abuse going on. It's too much of it. And it needs to stop. Because now where people was fighting you, now they taking your life. They want to kill you. And I'm gonna say this too. How can, you know, Tina Turner said, what love have to do with it? Remember that? She said, what love have to do with it? How can you, in the beginning, like the person, love the person, and then end up hating them? But see, Ike had issues. He had a lot of issues. He really did. And I'm not saying that Tina didn't have any. But Tina was young. And when you're young and naive, you know, you really think that you got it going on when you're young and you're naive until you learn better. So she really thought that he was really gonna, you know, he wasn't gonna do her like he did the other lady, you know. But I like what Tina said. And I'm about to get gone. Tina went through a lot of abuse from Ike Turner. She really did. But her name was Anna Mae Bullock. Y'all remember that? Go back and listen to some of her stuff. Her real name was Anna Mae Bullock. I forgot how she became Tina. And maybe it was because in her music career or whatever when she became Tina. But then when she married Ike, of course, when she married Ike, she became a Turner. But anyway, she told Ike, she said, all I want is my name. She said, you can, in other words, you can have everything else. I just want my name. See, Tina knew what she was always already about before she even met Ike. So she said, all I want is my name. You know, the good Lord allowed her to make that name famous. She made Tina Turner name famous. See, and she was more famous. She got to the point where she was more famous than Ike. See, because he started having too many bad habits. And what I mean about that with the women's and the drugs and the alcohol and stuff. And look, you see how it is? Tina's still living. Ike is dead. And I'm not saying that to be ugly, but I am saying we have to be careful. We have to be careful. But she said, all I wanted is my name. She didn't kill him. She didn't do nothing to him but left him. But the way his track record, and he never did get better. All of them demons in him just destroyed him and took him on out of the earth realm. And then he realized that he, you know, his messed up and his shortcomings, and he wanted Tina back, but Tina went on. Tina went on with her career, and Tina had went on with her life. You see? So all I'm saying is that you don't have to abuse nobody. You don't have to mistreat people. We're not here. We're not on this earth to be mistreated. We're not on this earth to be a doormat. We're not on this earth to be cursed out and verbally abused and mentally abused and sexually abused and going on. Not even spiritually abused. We're not on here for that. We're not on this earth or in this earth for people to control us either. No. You're not here to be controlled. And you don't heard me say you're not robots. So you're not here to be controlled. You're here when God put you together or put you, you're supposed to be team players. You're supposed to be friends with each other. Team players, work together. You see, build a foundation together, but never mistreat one another. Never mistreat one another. So, There's too many people you're sitting up letting your boyfriends mistreat you. Boyfriends letting the girlfriends mistreat you. And you know you should never do that, because you just boyfriend and girlfriend. That ain't nothing that's serious or commitment, no way. You see, all that goes on. Then the boyfriend mistreating the kids and going on, or however. You know, all I'm saying is that your life needs to be as peaceful as it can be. So you have to eliminate that toxic behavior, because that's toxic. So you need to eliminate the toxic, you know, and have peace. You want peace in your life, because you'll be able to live a better longevity life with peace in your life. You know, than all that craziness. When you leave home, you want to be able to leave home and do what you got to do and come back without, where you been? You been gone too long. You know, I done time you and all this kind of crap. You know, you should have been back here. No, mom and dad, when I left mom and dad, I left my mom and dad. And you're not my mom and dad. So therefore, you can't control me like that. Now, I'm going to respect you, and you got to respect me. But now, if I said I was at Walmart, I was at Walmart. You could have came to Walmart where I was. You see what I'm saying? But now, for us, this acting like you my daddy or you my mama, no. We're not mom and daddy. In other words, I've already been raised, trained, and you cannot come along and retrain me or re-raise me or reschool me. That's over. That's a done deal. I'm grown. I'm grown and you grown. And then all this about these trackers. I'm not going to track you and you ain't going to track me. So I'm not going to put no tracker on your, try to find out where you at, because you should have enough common sense to do like you say do, and be accountable and do, you know, come on back. And the same with me. So we ain't tracking nobody. Because a lot of that going on, where they putting these trackers on you, trying to find out where you at. You ain't finna track me. And I'm not going to track you. So I'm just saying that we should have to be doing all this stuff if we are trustworthy, if we are responsible, if we are accountable, and if we are loyal to one another, and we will love each other the way we say we do. It shouldn't be out there. A lot of people say, well, you can fall in love, you can fall out of love. Well, you might can. But if you're married to each other and you feel like it's worth it, then you better try to find a way to fall back in love. Because when you go out there in them streets, ain't no love in them streets, but I tell you what it is, lust, L-U-S-T. It's lust in the streets. Ain't no love. You're not in the streets. I remember used to be a song say, trying to love too, showed us ain't easy to do. Somebody was going to get left out. Because it's not easy to do. The Lord ain't never told nobody to love two. He said love one. So you're going to love one, and you're going to lust after the other one. And that lusting is of the flesh. Okay? That's of the flesh. So I just don't believe that you can love two people. I don't believe in that. You know, trying to love two ain't easy to do. Got a woman at home, a woman. See, it's crazy. It's just crazy stuff. You know, we have listened to these songs over the years, because a lot of time we was coming up and they was playing these type of songs, and we got to let all this mess got into our spirit, man. And then we thinking, yeah, you can love two. No, you can't. And if you do, it's of the devil. It's not of God. God gave you one. Cherish that one. Love that one. Respect that one. Honor God for that one. Appreciate that one. You know, because you only got one life to live. You only got that one. And if that one leave for something and you want to get remarried or something, it's something different. But marriages can stay together if people stay out of it and people do the right thing. But if they don't, then yeah, it's gonna demolish. But I wasn't only talking about marriage today. I was talking about relationships. I was talking about, you know, we just got family members that's being abused right now. Somebody's being abused right now. Have you ever thought about the homeless people? They're homeless, but something happened and they might have been abused. You ever thought about it? You see them, I was coming, I was at the light, and the man, he went like he wanted to come up to my car to ask me for something. I heard my windows already stay wound up, you know, and I kept looking or whatever, because I was going to take off. But, you know, and he started acting crazy and getting mad and all this violence and going on. I don't like all that. And I'm just saying what I don't like. You done saw so much of this stuff coming up. You done saw so much of violence and so much of mistreatment and so much of lying and so much of cheating and so much of cursing and so much abuse. You mean to tell me you done grew up in this stuff? You done saw it so much in your life. And you still want to still continue to, since you done got grown still like that? No. It's time to live life. See, when God bring you out of that stuff, stay out of it. And it's time to live life and enjoy life. But I just want to say that he never put no one on this earth to be mistreated or to be abused. That's all I'm saying. And we need to make sure that we talk to our children and grandkids and stuff and let them know this is not love. This is not love. Even if you fell in love with somebody like that, you're going to have to get them to understand this ain't love, boo. You ain't going to keep on blacking eyes. This ain't love. But you trying to disfigure my face. You trying to disfigure my mind. You trying to disfigure my body. You trying to take something away from me that God gave me, and you didn't even give it to me. You was supposed to been treating me right like a queen. See, and so since you don't know my worth and you don't know my value and you don't know who I really am, then I ain't got time to sit here and babysit you. I'm finna move on out your life and let you abuse the next person, and I'm gonna go on and be patient and wait on God until he send me my real king that's gonna really treat me the way I really deserve to be treated, and I'm gonna sit and wait until God blesses me like that. And I ain't gonna be in no hurry, but when he do, he gonna know. I'm not going to lower my standard to stay with you. No. My standard is high. My confidence is high. My self-esteem is high. And my love is high. And I'm not going to let you misuse me and abuse me. No. You keep on going. You keep on trucking, baby. You remember that song? Keep on trucking, baby. Keep on trucking. Keep on trucking. All right, y'all. I'm going to get off of Lisa Talk. This was Lisa Talk. Beautiful Brenda. I want to let you know I love you. God bless you. And hang on in there. Be the best Brenda do-heart that you can be. And when you do that, that's all you can do. It's a wrap from them. It's a wrap from them. And I always tell everybody to learn and to know their own identity. That is very important. That is very important when you truly know who you are. You know, no matter what, you got to learn your own identity in this thing. Because we are in a good world, but we can be around some cruel, evil, mean, dysfunctional, toxic people. And those are people that you want to get away from. Those are people that you can't keep those type of people in your life. Okay? I've got some family members that that is allowed too much. And they're being abused a little bit too much. And I don't like it. But they got to make up in their own minds to do not allow this to continue to keep on happening to you. Because it's not right. It's just not right. And it's not of God. It's of the devil. It is not of God. Because God ain't put you here for you to be nobody's punching bag. He didn't put you here to be looked down on and talked down on and stomped on and cursed out. And he didn't put you down here for that. He has a much better plan for all of us than that. But the devil will make you feel no one else is going to love me. No one else is going to disrespect me. This is the best that I can do. The devil is a lie. And no. This is not, don't even put that in your mind. Or they'll say, I don't have nowhere else to go. Oh, yeah. It'll be another way. It's going to be somewhere else to go. I can't live without this person. What you was doing before that person came into your life, what you was doing before you knew anything about that person, you was starting living. Yes, you can live without that person. I can't sleep without that. Yes, you can. Take your sinus pill and go to sleep. And you'll be snoring like nothing else. So a lot of stuff we say that we can't do, and we find ourselves realizing we can do it because when you came into this world, come on, Miracle, when you came into this world, it was you. It was you. And when you leave out of here, guess what? It's going to be you. All right? Okay, then. Bless you. I'm going to get off now. And God bless y'all. And God bless you and have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful night. But talk, if you know somebody that's abusing somebody, let them know that they can come talk to you in confidence, help them to get some help. That's the main thing. Help them. They got some hotlines. I'm being real. Don't let nobody keep on abusing you. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. A wonderful night.